We're live. Hey, we're talking today about something you or someone you know might find yourself in a situation like this where you need to sell your house. You need to move, or you need to sell, or both. And that sounds like the same thing, but sometimes they're a little bit different. So I'm Ruth Sheehan from eXp Realty.
And Danielle Tully.
And this is Putting Real in Real Estate. So we're going to talk about some real stuff here that nobody likes to talk about, but it is important not only to talk about it, but to talk about it at the right time, which could be now, could be a month from now.
Correct.
But it's not 6 months after you stop paying your mortgage. So
Right.
These things are not pleasant, but believe us, it's much more pleasant when you address it going forward than backward, and a heck of a lot less expensive.
Correct. Yes. So we are at a point, we've approached a point where some of the banks that last year had forbearance, people, homeowners had asked for some leniency when bills might have been tight. And some companies, there was different banks did different things. Some of them took any missed payments and just attach it to the back. So if you had 48 payments left, you still have 48 payments left. If you have 480 payments, you still had 480. There were others that chose to go a different route. So they would take the amount, say it's $10,000 that a homeowner was behind on. And what they did was, because the federal government said that it could not be asked in a lump sum in order to try to prevent things that have happened in the past, which is everybody at the same time having financial problems and houses going into foreclosure or short sale. So they were trying to head that off. So they made it needed to be installments. Well, now some banks out there are saying, okay, you have 3 months or 4 months. So they took those rules and are using it to their advantage. And
it's really weird that the banks would be like sort of not, on the side of the consumer.
Well, yes. I mean, one would think that we would hope, right? In a perfect world, we go, they're not supposed to want to be owners of homes. They want to be owners of loans. And when you put the pressure on people to pay a lot of money in a short amount of time, they then become owners of homes.
And also look at where this came from. So obviously we had a crisis where suddenly people were not able to go to work, able to get a regular paycheck for an extended period of time. And so one of the things that the government did to try to mitigate the pain involved was mandate forbearance options. Now, some people took forbearance just in case, because they didn't know what was going to happen with their job or childcare or whatever was going on at the time. Some may have already been in a difficult position financially, and this just happened to come along at the time when they otherwise would have had to stop paying their mortgage. But most people have found the financial means to pay their mortgage now. And so we recommend that you do whatever it takes to get back on track quickly, if that's the case. However, there are people who, as we said, either were already in a difficult position or may have been put into a very difficult position that they haven't been able to get out of because of everything surrounding COVID. So if you are in that latter camp, talk to us. Find out whether you're in a position of equity. Most people right now are. And that's the best time to sell your house. So don't ride it out. Don't say, I'm going to stay as long as I can until the forbearance ends and they start trying to collect. And then I'm going to stay until They evict me, you're going to end up for many, many years in a very difficult position that you don't have to be in.
Correct. And this isn't just if you're, this is, advice 4 or 5 years from now. If your situation changes, the long-term job that you had or the prospects you had or any, health, anything that puts you in a different financial position than when you acquired it adversarially, from when you acquired the loan, pretending like it's not there is so easy. And I understand that, we understand the stress.
And you're going to get really bad advice from a lot of friends and family who are going to say, they can't kick you out. They can't throw you out. They can't take your house. They can. Various banks have various processes for moving forward. And you don't know what sort of a situation you're going to be in. But we often find people in this situation too late to really be of great help. And we hate that.
Yes. Oops, I don't know. Yeah, okay, there you are, Ruth. You cut out for just a second, I think, unless it was me who cut out.
The good news right now is there are a lot of buyers out. So we were once in a situation for a very long time, obviously, where it was very difficult to sell any house in any condition for any price. And so there, if you were in a position not to be able to pay the mortgage, you really didn't have a lot of choices. Right now you have choices. We can help, and make it often relatively painless.
And it might not even be sale. It might, we have some great lenders. If you're not behind, they can help you and tell you about refinancing.
And if you're with Chase Bank or something, they're not gonna come out with a list of options for you. So, oftentimes I think we find our clients tend to be loyal people, so they love to be loyal to people that they already do business with. So if they're with a gigantic monolith, and they've been there for 20 years and they have their mortgage there and they have their bank accounts there, and like to walk into the local branch, they think that that's going to go both ways, and that bank is going to present them with a variety of options.
Hey, buddy, come on in and we'll help you.
Yeah, sadly, not true.
No, most people don't.
And nothing against the lovely staff that probably works there, but all of their red tape and all of their policies are going to make it very difficult for you to get help. But we know people who really can, who've got some great products, who've got some great partners, who can help you out of jam, whatever direction you want to go.
And not that we're there, right? But in the case that somebody really does need to sell and they are underwater because they've missed a few payments, again, it is better to do it sooner rather than later. That's really what it comes down to, is getting on top of it, is ego, or we had problems years ago, during this, and I know it weighs on your heart and your stomach and your head, and you just kind of go, let's not think about this today.
Yeah.
And, but it needs
covers over my head.
Correct. It happens to the best of people, and life happens. And so we want to be sure that, we're helping the best way we can. And the best way we can is to get on top of it as early as possible.
And the main thing is it just gets worse, and it gets worse really fast, because once you go into the default stage, the fees that pile up, they go it goes so fast. It's so much money. We have both, Danielle and I have both helped people, several people through difficult situations like this. And what we see, it's heartbreaking because we see somebody who had significant equity in their home that they lived in for many years, that they paid that bank, paid tons of interest as well as principal. And we will see $100,000 evaporate in a matter of months. Right. So if you wait to that point and think, oh, they're just, there'll be some additional fees, that's not true. It will eat up every penny you have left in your house. When you have buyers coming into a situation where they recognize that there is distress, unfortunately, sometimes those buyers and their agents will smell blood in the water and realize that they can probably ask for anything they want, and that will be credits and repairs and lowering the price. Traditionally, tell that you're in a desperate situation.
Traditionally, short sales do go for 10 to 15% under market price, because the idea is if you can't afford to pay your mortgage, chances are you're not getting that HVAC person out twice a year to look at the air conditioning and the furnace, and you're not, kind of doing some other maintenance that is normal on a home because of being cash strapped. So that in itself is, and it's public record. Those pre-foreclosures that aren't a thing on a certain site, that is basically them pulling public records saying somebody's late. Now, again, that could be 16, 18 months later if they don't get back on track, but that's where they pull that data. That's public information, so people will know.
Not to go down a rabbit hole, but that's disgusting. They publish the fact that somebody might be having some financial difficulties, missed a mortgage payment, is late with a mortgage payment. They take it and they slap it all over their website and let all their neighbors know that they're in trouble. One of the many disgusting things about that particular website. So anyway, the upshot here is, if you find yourself in a position that you need to sell, the good news is right now it's a great time to do it. There have been many times over the years when we've had people who are in that position and we can get it sold for them. We can absolutely do it. But it's going to be much more of a struggle than it is right now. So don't think, well, maybe I'll wait a few months, or maybe, I'll just let it ride, because we don't know where we're going to be at that point. Right now, we can help pretty easily and pretty painlessly, as I said. So one way or another, reach out to us and we will figure out whether there's a way to keep you where you are, if that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
Get some, there are various, I hate to use the word modification because it is a specific thing that means something, but there are various ways to make changes in your financial commitment to your lender. And we can help with that. We can help with selling and finding something more suitable, or just, be there to talk you through your various options.
Correct. Absolutely. We're very happy to help, as always.
So, and on a side note, nobody who really knows what they're talking about thinks that there's going to be a flood of foreclosures like there was in 2008.
No.
Nobody wants that to happen. And by nobody, I mean the government and the banking system that ended up not doing the banks a whole lot of good despite their efforts. So we really don't see that in the future. So if you're one of those people who's saying, I'm going to sit on the sidelines and buy a foreclosure dirt cheap, by the way, they were never dirt cheap. Even when there were floods of them on the market, that was part of the problem. So not a good plan. And if you remember, interest rates went sky high for a while. If the market turns, rates will likely increase. And so you can either pay seller a price now or pay the bank more interest later, but it's going to be the same impact on your wallet. So we're hearing a lot of talk about, hey, maybe this is leading up to this, and I can do well on it. Nobody thinks so. We don't know, but nobody thinks so. So.
All right. Well, I hope everyone has a good weekend.
Yeah.
See you next
See you later. See you next week.
All right.